Is that where you're from? You born and raised there?
I actually was born in Illinois and raised in this area, Lake Elsinore, Temecula Valley, anyway, since I was 4.
Oh, gotcha. So quite a while.
Yeah, quite a while.
That's your life. Nice. Okay. So who or what got you into a life of songwriting? You know, who got you doing what you're doing? Many people.
Well, kind of was always a passion to write just poems and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I was 2010 that I met a producer named Thomas Barceau, and he had this crazy idea to have us. We were recording covers and stuff like that, and just working on our vocals and harmonies. And he said, "Let's write some songs." So from that point forward, it's been a crazy amount of songwriting. So that's kind of nice. In a nutshell, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's great. So, of course, I know a topic of conversation here is you're recording on the Chicago track, The Mermaid, on their new album, right? So that seems like an awfully exciting thing for you, to say the least. So tell me about how that all transpired. How did you get hooked up with them? You know, give me the rundown on that.
Yeah, so man, okay, so it's so weird. I kind of walk into these things. No,
Must be nice.
No, I have some really good friends in the industry, and actually in this valley, we have so many amazing musicians that have either, live here or retire here. But there's a musician by the name of Jackie Bertoni, and he's a world famous percussionist. He's on the Brian Wilson albums. Oh my gosh, Santana, like so many different albums. And he's one of my really good friends, one of my mentors as well. I've known him for about, 7 years maybe. And he had a wild idea another person having a wild idea to help me with my career a little bit. And he has a friend named Joe Thomas, who's the one that produced the Chicago album. So there's some stuff in that area I can't talk about, but
sure. Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened. It was just, they thought I had some talent and want to help me out. So
yeah. And when did this happen? When did you cut the vocals in the studio?
Yeah, so I found out last August actually that we were gonna, that he asked me, is this something you're interested in? And I'm like, sure, yeah. And they're like, well, you have to sing in Portuguese. It's like, okay. It's like whatever it takes. I don't care.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then we recorded locally here in Temecula at a studio. Everything was done, via internet kind of thing. Even Joe produced it over the phone as well, which was a whole new ball game for me. So, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, we recorded it here and we sent it over to him, and he did his magic. So
nice. Okay, well that my next question might be obsolete, because I was going to ask if you got to meet any of the guys in the band, or if you got to see them in studio at all, but I guess you didn't.
Not yet, but their last performance is here in Pachanga in Temecula, the Casino Pachanga. So we're working on to see if I'm pretty sure I'll be able to meet them, maybe be able to do the song with them as well. I'm not sure. But yeah,
well, that would only be right. I mean, since you're on the album, right?
I mean, it's up to them. I'm just in the back, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome though. That's great. And I also, Rob had also made a note that you had worked with Andy Fraser of the British rock band Free prior to his passing. So I was curious as to what that experience was like, and if you could shed some light on that.
Man, that's like, whew. So, 2014, I put out my EP and got some nominations really quickly off of that. And from there, we went to NAMM and we were doing some stuff. And in the midst of that, like leading up to going to NAMM, I met somebody by the name of Serene Jagger, and she was working with Andy Fraser, and it was here in Temecula again. And I was part of the board of the Temecula Valley Music Awards. So I met her, and, she heard my music and stuff, and she's like, I really want Andy to hear this. And I'm like, who's Andy? I don't know who Andy is. I'm so out of it. Like, I don't understand. I you know what? I like to be oblivious because I don't get nervous then. I'm like, it's not to be rude. It's just, I want to meet the person. Like, I don't want to meet the reputation. Right. So, So we met Andy. Actually, we stayed at an Airbnb. She's like, just come stay with me. And I'm like, I barely know you. Like, what's going on? And we were like, he was in the kitchen of the Airbnb and she's like, sing Alicia Keys really quick. I was like, oh geez, okay.
Put you on the spot, yeah.
Like just one of the hardest artists. Okay. And
yeah,
I started singing and he came in and he was like, is that you? I was like, yeah, it's me. And so we started getting along really well. And then in the hall of NAMM, she asked me to sing one of my originals, Sensitive Material. And he came, and that was kind of a little bit of a belty song. So he came up and he's like, you're so fired. And he put his arm around me. And that was like a term of endearment for him. But he really wasn't close with a lot of people, but him and I clicked really quickly. Like he loved, some people don't know that Andy Fraser was half black. So he had like a real, like, gravitation towards like soul music and stuff like that. So we talked a lot about that, but I only knew him like 3 months before he passed away, which was so sad because he had like a record label and we were going to do all this stuff in UK and it just kind of like went away. But he was just a little bit of time. Like I can't imagine knowing him for like even longer than that. Like he was so inspiring and just like such a talent and force. So,
clearly made an impact on you in a brief time, man.
Very brief time. Yeah.
So did I see this right that you performed one of his final performances with him? Is that right? Yeah.
So Grammy after party 2015, right after that. Right after that NAMM. He asked me in the lobby of the Anaheim Marriott there. It was the last day, and he just turned around. He just did things suddenly like this. It was like, what? It's like, what's going on? And he was like, would you sing my song, Every Kind of People, at the Grammy after party? I was like, well, I'm thinking, well, don't overthink this. Just say yes. Just say yes. It doesn't matter. So of course I said yes. I got to do some other songs with him. And the crazy thing is like at the show, we cut the last song I was going to do was Natural Woman, and they cut it because it was running over. And I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh, I really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the performance, people were leaving the stage and Andy grabbed me. He's like, let's do Natural Woman. And I'm again, this like flash of lightning, right? And all of a sudden he just starts with the bass with Natural Woman. And then the keys came in because I had to replug in the keys really quickly. And then all the instruments came trickling in. And we did it there. And that was the very last song that he performed live. And it was so I wish I have getting chills thinking about it. I wish we had video of that. But
yeah. Oh my gosh. So the Grammy after party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So tell me about your own musical prowess then. So I see you're in a group called Soulcal, is that right also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SoCal.
So what have you done recently, or what are you working on, of your own volition, your own projects?
Sure. So during COVID, there was nothing else to do, right? So I'm like, why not join a band? Why not join a really big band? So we did.
How many people?
Yeah, and I've never done something like this before. And I know I like to challenge myself in areas that I feel like I'm weak. And, I'm down with the solo, trio, duo kind of thing, but I've never done the full out show kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. So we started down that road, and they told me initially they wanted to get signed with this booking agency. They wanted to perform at Humphreys by the Bay, like all these, kind of big aspirations for them because they're not necessarily professional artists. They have regular jobs, and then they have the music, which they love. But as we were going along, we kind of started building up the band a little bit, and just recently we performed at Wilson Creek Winery. Obviously with the back and forth of COVID, it's been a bit difficult, but
yeah.
So we performed at Wilson Creek Winery, and they were like, what is this? Why do not, because in Temecula Valley, it's all about like the trios, smaller groups, and they bring in the bigger ones. So they were really excited about that. They're going to be booking us, a lot of the other wineries, but the other, and it just all happened at once, we got the booking agency plus another one which is the second largest in the like US, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then we got Humphreys, which we're going to be playing on August 5th. I'm like, okay, so what else dreams do we have in the bag, guys? Let's go.
Yeah.
Because they're so ecstatic about it. But
Yeah. And do you have a mix of like originals and covers, only covers? Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay.
It's cool. It's actually amazing to have a band say, we want to play all of your music. Like, I'm like, okay, because
that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I built the EP. I wanted all live musicians. I really believed in, bringing in real talent that know their instruments and get that, the real vibe of it. And I'm glad that I did that because that came across in the album. And now that's kind of coming full circle in today's music of having horns and, all the different pieces live. So like it lends itself to this band as well. So it works out.
Nice. And when did this EP come out that you're speaking of? Is this a recent one? Your most recent one?
Actually, no, that was 2014.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
is there new studio material you're working on, or?
Yeah, we have a ton of stuff.
Confidential, or?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you want to divulge.
I do have a songwriter that I work with often, and his name is Carlos Calvo. He's actually part of the band as well.
Okay.
And we write every week, and he's an amazing guitarist. He doesn't like to let people know things, but I mean, he lived in LA for 30 years, and he's pretty much like the guitar, teacher of the stars kind of thing. But he taught Adam Levine when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
Hill. Yeah, he will never tell you these things because he's so humble. But yeah, like the list goes on. But yeah, I'm super, again, it's just another thing. Like, he moved to Riverside. It's like, dude, I think we're supposed to be working together. Like, then he joined.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like the stars aligning and everything. So
it's awesome. What does a dream gig or a dream collaboration look like for you?
Oh my goodness. A dream.
I know there's probably like 30, but you can name a few.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would have loved to do something with Aretha. Obviously, that's like the Pinnacle. And Whitney. But Celine, like Mariah, like, all the big voices. I mean, even in country, like with Martina McBride, or I actually got to sing with Trisha Yearwood. That would be amazing to do something with her.
That's awesome.
She's so sweet. Oh,
powerhouse. Yeah.
Sweetest lady. But everybody that I've kind of grown up, admiring, I think that would make the list. And there's quite a few. Winona Judd,
Yeah, for sure. And so we might have already discussed this, but what are one or two pinnacle moments for you as an artist that immediately come to the forefront of your mind? And like I said, we might have already touched on them probably.
Pinnacle moments, man. Well, I think some of them are very small, but I think it definitely fed into my career and belief in myself, or even just, I mean, this is a very tough industry, obviously, but overnight successes are not just overnight. They're about a decade or more of time.
The iceberg, yeah.
And to keep going through those kinds of things, you kind of have to grab onto those things that inspire you. I think, little things like, I had an original song that was, reworked for an artist, and she put it out, and it has like so many views and stuff. It's like to see your work kind of do that. It's really amazing. Obviously performing with Andy was ridiculous. Like, people don't get to do some of the stuff that I do, and I don't understand why, and I'm not going to question it, but I'll just keep going down that road. Obviously the Chicago album was like, what? Like, this is insane. Everybody knows who Chicago is. Like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I just kind of take things, and I'm just thankful for everything. So it's really hard to say like the pinnacle moments, but it's just, it's crazy to think I live this life.
Yeah, it's incredible. What does, kind of stemming off of this, what does success as a musician or songwriter mean to you when you think about that?
Wow. Well, there's two sides of that coin. There's the art side and there's the business side.
Oh yeah,
So I'm gonna go with the art side just to keep it positive. No, just kidding.
sure, yeah,
I mean, I think one of my objectives, my purposes in this world is to sing songs, write songs, sing songs that mean something. Whether that's something I've gone through or something else somebody else has gone through, or just anything that makes me feel something. I feel like I'm supposed to amplify that and kind of get into I call it the dead zone inside of people. It's like the only thing that can get there is music. But for some reason, when I'm singing songs that mean something, that just aren't just like pop ballads or something like that, but something more meaningful, it moves people. And it's not me. I know it's not me. It's just the feeling. It's the vibe. And I think that's my job. And so in terms of that success, like the more people that I can reach, the better, I guess. Like that's, to me, is successful. Like if I can help one person, I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It's like so many people in this world are, just needing something, needing love, needing happiness, needing something good, and to believe in themselves. I want to do what music did for me when I was younger, right? And I was the only child in my room with a karaoke machine, so and that was my best friend. So music has a way of saving people and growing people and creating a better world. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm with you, and that's a great answer. So what are, this will be the last question, and I'll cut you loose, but what are some of your goals, whether it be musically or otherwise, for the rest of the year? What do you want to accomplish for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, okay, so definitely getting with the band, getting with Chicago, at least getting a picture, maybe even performing with them. That would be huge. And then putting out the next single, which is in the works right now with the video and all that. So we're gonna start there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great place to start. That's great. Well, awesome. I think we got a lot of good information here. And let's see, what's today? Today's Tuesday, Wednesday? Probably sometime next week, we can probably get this up and running. We'll be in touch with Rob, and Rob can let you know. But that's about it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pleasure chatting with you, and best of luck. And yeah, we'll be letting you know when it goes live.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Yes, have a good day.
You too.
See ya.